Alright, so about that Quiver craft, right? Where was it? So, to craft this Quiver, chat, you use essences for... I did res essences, I believe. But you have choices, right? You have several essences you can afford to use here. You have Woe, Anguish, Torment, Shrieking, Wrath, Anger, Hatred, right? Any of these will work. The flat ones will give you that flat roll. The res ones will give you the res suffix, and then the Woe will give you the damage with both skills, which is probably the least. That's probably the one you should use last, as Gucci has pointed out to me. But anyway, so let's talk about the res essence tech. Now, you don't necessarily need or want a res essence here. I did, so I went with it. But you can just spam, let's say you spam Wrath Essence here until you get dot multi. Once you have an open suffix, you can then do cannot roll attack mods and Exalt, and it's guaranteed to land life and damage with both skills. So I'll show you real quick. This will take me like 5 seconds. I'll show you. I'll literally just craft it for you right now. It takes like 2 seconds. Right, so you get lovely Wed Quiver base, because that's sexy. Right? You just essence spam it. Where is she? So now I personally hit this Quiver with Anguish, but I'll show you the res one because I was just running out of essences. So you just spam until you get dot multi or +1 bow, +1 arrow. I mean, so bing bong, bing bong. Now these are rare mods to hit, but obviously you can use any shitty ass res tier. Like you can use tier 3. Like it really doesn't matter. So you just keep going. There you go. And so, once you've got damage over time and res, you need an open suffix, so we have to annul. It died. Now let's just pretend we hit the annul here, right? Just pretend for science, right? Now, if you want an estimate of how many essences this will cost you, I'll do that real quick.
Can't I just craft it halfways and then ink it in game to ask what I need to do next?
Shit. It would take you 59 essences on average to get this mod, or alternatively to get +1 arrow. So it's about 42 essences, but you need an open suffix too, so it's not too bad. Now once you've got this, you won. It's over. All you do now, chat, is you do cannot roll attack mods, you exalt, and it's guaranteed to land life and damage with both skills. Now you are praying here to get good tiers. This is the hard part. Are you ready? Well, you got fucked in the ass. You got really fucked in the ass. Now that's what happens if you don't have the streamer client on. Now, this is what I got. Yeah. So you have two options. You can do suffixes cannot be changed to the scour, and then, you know, recraft it and go again. Or you could just re-essence spam and go again from there. Because at this point, you've only invested 1 divine and 40 essences. And maybe some annuls. So you can either preserve the suffixes by doing suffixes cannot be changed. And then scour. But that's very expensive. You would probably just go again in essence spam at this point. But anyway, you know, let's go back in time a little bit. Let's say you recraft the Quiver because you got fucked in the ass. You go again. Boom. Acceptable. Boom. Acceptable. Then you can craft on attack speed, and you won. That's the Quiver. There is she. Well, yeah, you get the idea. That's the basic Quiver. Now, you can either YOLO Exalt here to just get some flat, right? Or you can Hunter Exalt for movement speed, but that's kind of cooked. It can also land Pierce, which is also good. Where is it? Yeah, so you can get like movement speed or Pierce, which are both good. I just spend Woe Essence. Yeah, the essence you choose will determine, like, so my point, Colony, was that you have 3 essence types you can choose. You have Hatred, Anger, Wrath for res. You have Shrieking, so you have Anguish, Torment, and Suffering for flat, and you have Woe for damage with bows. So if you really only care about that damage with bow skills mod and you don't want to metacraft it like extensively, you can do woes, that's totally fine. I would just use whatever you got, whatever's cheap as fuck. Because as you can see, you can slam on a pretty sizable flat roll. But then remember, you want two good stuff. You want the dot multi with another good suffix, right? So you're gonna be, it's gonna be a bit harder to get good suffixes then, as you can see. The method that I showed you was the quickest way to get a usable quiver.
Oh, it's so big!
Yeah, you don't want to do Zeal. Now the reason you don't want to do Zeal is ideally you're crafting on attack speed. To be fair though, even Zeal works because you can just craft on res. So, even a Zeal essence works. You have a lot of flexibility with quiver crafting. The main takeaway I wanted to give you is that the prefixes are deterministic. The reason for that, chat, is I'll show you. If you try to exalt on a prefix and you have cannot roll attack mods, the only two mods you can land is life and damage with bow skills. So it's like literally 100. Chat, it's guaranteed life and damage with bow skills, and those are the two most important prefixes on a quiver, and they're guaranteed. So because of that, it's extremely easy to craft insane quivers. It's all about crafting those suffixes. The suffixes is the hard part. So you can make this as well. Exactly, right? So if you get so that's another good point. The hunter mod for, is it Pierce that's also, is Pierce also an attack mod? Because you can make a god tier quiver. I have a video on this as well. But because the hunter mods are not attack mods either, you can actually get this quiver, chat, guaranteed. This is a guaranteed deterministic outcome. So once you have T1 attacks with dot multi, once you have those two stats on an item, that's the hard bit. Once you have those two suffixes, if you do cannot roll attack mods and exalt, it is literally guaranteed to land 4 mods: life, damage with bow skills, movement speed, and pierce. Now, movement speed and pierce are a lot rarer, so you don't really see them very often. And so you most likely get life and damage with bow skills first. You're looking for 2 of those mods with good stats, those 2 mods. Then you just slam on the last prefix and it'll either be movement speed or pierce. And you just take whatever you get, and then you just craft on attack speed on the suffix. So this quiver that this guy linked, that Ripple linked, that's guaranteed. Like that is, I could craft this quiver reliably for, the hard part would be the 2 dot multi suffixes. Everything else is guaranteed. How do you get the 2 dots first? Now that's the fucked part. The best way that I found was Chaos Reforge, but it's super fucked. Like, it is hard, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think we have a very good emulator for this, but it's a substantial cost into harvest. Because all you can really do, chat, so you get the hunter quiver, right? He had pierce, so we'll do pierce. We'll do a broadhead, right? We'll do a broadhead. So you get a hunter quiver, and then you just gotta harvest reforge chaos repeatedly, right? And you just gotta spam this shit until you get double dot multi. And I don't know how many it's gonna take you, but yeah. There are some really, like, I get asked questions all the time. How do you craft your rings? Because I always have the craziest amethyst rings on every build I play. But it turns out, chat, and I should have shown you this example, but like really insane amethyst rings are one of the easiest things you can craft to be insane. I just make them at ROG. Honestly, it's even easier than ROG crafting. Like, it is actually one of the things you should just craft. Like, yeah. It's just that strong to just craft them the normal way. It's even easier than ROG, honestly. You could also finish a ROG wing this way. Correct. That's the thing, you can combine it. Please show us. Okay, I'll show you real quick. It all comes back down to meta mods and tags and blocking. It's in fact, this is like a good showcase of all the mechanics I just displayed. So if you get an amethyst ring, right? And you catalyze the bad boy, right? So, did you know, chat, you can cap your chaos res from literally -60 with 2 rings, right? And I was telling Ziz this, because even Ziz sometimes needs a reminder. But basically, chat, you get an amethyst ring and you catalyze this bad boy. Right? You catalyze it with prismatics, right? Boom, 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 boom. Then, what you want to do, right? Again, I'll show you those tags again, right? Jewelry, ring. So, what's interesting about rings, chat, and chaos, is that there's only one mod. There's only one chaos mod. So, guess what? If you reforge chaos, guess what you roll every single time? Chaos res, chaos res, chaos res, chaos res, chaos res, every single time. Now, right, that guarantees one of the good mods that you want. The other thing you do is you keep doing this, because Reforged Chaos is quite cheap. You just keep doing this until you get 2 more good suffixes, right? Don't worry about the prefixes, only worry about the suffixes. And yes, this does also work with Reforged Caster. In fact, I'll actually show you 2 crafts here. I'll show you 2, right? The first craft I'm gonna show you is the basic one. This is what I would do if I was an SSF. So the first thing is the basic ring. This is what I would do day 2 of the league. Like if I was gonna do Gauntlet and I wanted to clear Ubers in like 2 days, this is what I would do. I would just spam until I get 2 usable suffixes, right? This you could almost consider usable, right? You've got 40 cold res. You've got, 40 chaos res, 25 cold res, and 19 all res. This is usable, right? Now, it is worth pointing out, let's pretend that this had 4 prefixes. You will need to annul. You need an open prefix, right? Because what we're gonna do is we're gonna abuse metamodding and we're gonna abuse blocking. So, you do suffixes cannot be changed here. -2D lol W, Veiled Chaos. The reason we Veiled Chaos here is 1, it's going to remove the ES and the cold damage to attacks, which we want, and it's also a lot cheaper than Ashling. So, boom. Now, there is a chance this fills with 6 mods. If this happens, you still go for the Unveil, and you just hope you hit the life without blocks, but you might have to annul, right? It's a low chance, but it happens. Then, again, I'm going to show you on here the power of blocking, because this is some crazy shit. Now, it turns out if you block mana on rings, there's only 4 mods. Look at all these veils, right? Well, guess what? Elrion mods don't naturally spawn. Leo mods don't naturally spawn. And if you block mana, it blocks mana, 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 mana. It blocks all these mana rolls. Look, 6, 6, 6, 6. It blocks 4 mods. And so it turns out the only mods you can get is a life, flat, flat, flat. There's only 4 outcomes, and you have 4 unveil. There's only 4 outcomes, and you only have 3. You have 3 veils. So there's only 1 outcome which bricks effectively. And so if I craft mana on this real quick, it's almost guaranteed. I believe it's an 83% chance to not brick, right? So it can get triple flat, but it's almost always gonna roll life. So I'll keep going to show you. Like life, here we go. This is the brick outcome. There is like a 17% chance this happens. It's very, very low, but it can happen. But most of the time, life, whoops. Fuck, I fucked it up. But anyway, most of the time you're gonna get life. Now, anyway, once you've got the life roll there, you're done. You just craft on, like, usually on a ring like this, chat, I would just craft on something like this and call it a day. There we go. And as you can see, chat, if you look at in-game, what ring do I have? I have cast speed, which is, I'll explain this actually as well, but I have cast speed, all res, a usable res roll with life and mana cost. This ring naturally rolled the life roll, and I was very poor at the time, but you can also force that life roll on the manually. Now to finish this ring, you can either YOLO exalt it. Again, you could choose to block here. You would choose to block here. So you could craft on mana and just YOLO exalt. But you can also Conk exalt. What's the most popular Conk exalt for these rings? I think it's like Warlord for AoE. Because you can get armor, AoE, and melee damage. There's some pretty solid mods on here. But yeah, I would usually, or let's say you're doing a minion ring, you can do a Redeemer Exalt, because you can get evasion and minion damage. Now, I will show you, I showed you a Chaos ring here, but as I just hinted at, it's not just Chaos. If we look at Caster Reforge, it's the only mod you can get. And so that ring, exactly crafted the same way. We reforge Caster. It's cool tech. It's absolutely cool tech. Like, chat, have you ever... Okay, let's pretend you're Essence of Delirium, right? You're spamming, and let's pretend like, oh, I really like this ring. It has dot multi and dex. You can guaranteed. Every craft is deterministic this way. No, it is literally deterministic because, okay, it's deterministic set in the sense that 100% chance to add chaos or caster. That is what makes it deterministic. That is absolutely the definition of deterministic. If you want caster, boom, cast speed. If you want chaos, boom, chaos res. Right, that is the deterministic factor. Now, I can't determine the tier. All my gear is crafted this way. Like, my boots were crafted. You know what? I'll show you how I crafted my boots. How did I get these boots? Look at the suffixes. Guess what, chat? Guess what? Did the exact same thing because guess what, chat? You know, this is the power of this tech. Guess what fire mods exist on boots, chat? Oh, only fire resist. Have you ever had a pair of boots that had T1 suppression, T1 res, and no suffix, and you just YOLO exalted? Because if you YOLO exalted, you're a dumb fuck. You should not do that. To be fair, it's probably worth on trade actually, but because you can deterministically slam on a resistance. After this explanation, I feel I can craft my own gear instead of buying all of it. Yes. See, that one guy. Anyway, this is very important. It's more so important for SSF because in Trade League, I will admit, in Trade League, a lot of this tech doesn't have as much value. Because in Trade League, you can buy things. So it's significantly better for SSF. To be fair though, if you did want to craft the best gear, you probably would be better off trying to craft it. Because I think the way the best players in the game craft their gear is what happens, chat, when you roll tier 3 chaos res and you need tier 2. You sell it for fuck tons of money and you buy crafting materials and you craft another one. So if you do want to, like, if you don't want to be some baby bitch buying shit gear from people better than you need to learn how to do this. You know, you don't necessarily always get T1, 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 but you do get T1, T1, T3. Sell that to you, the old you, and then keep going until you get your T1, T1, T1. Because that's how you go. That's how you get to that next level. Steel, stop spoiling trade. Shit. But yeah, anyway, I gotta play the game now. No matter what, chat, the only mistake you can make, regardless of any advice I just gave you, is AFK in your hideout doing nothing. So, ultimately, the real lesson is you shouldn't, like, sit in your hideout the whole time explaining things to chat, and you should play the game. Because honestly, that's probably the worst thing you could do. So, yeah. Just don't do that, and you'll be fine, regardless, so.
I'm not up to that just yet.
Yeah, yep.